Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
We're joined at the Daily Signal by Mary Millben, an actress and singer. Mary, it's so good to be with you.
It's great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
You've had the opportunity to perform before 3 presidents, most recently at President Trump's inauguration, but also Barack Obama and George W. Bush. What is that experience like to sing before the leader of the free world?
Yeah, I tell you, and thanks for having me. It's been a joy to be here with Heritage, and so grateful to Ms. Kay for the invitation. I tell you, it's pretty surreal, but I will say a true blessing. You know, I have loved my interfaces within the political arena, and I think every artist, when you have the opportunity to use your platform for good, and certainly in the context of for the country, it's an honor. And so to have worked for President Bush and then go into entertainment and sing for President Bush and Mrs. Bush and President Obama and the First Lady Obama and now our President and First Lady Melania Trump, it's a true honor and a stat I would say in my my journey that I feel blessed to have.
Tell us about your life story, how you ended up in government and then how you moved into the entertainment world.
Yeah, in short, because it's a pretty lengthy one, I'll say, entertainment and politics are pretty much the same profession. You know, every 4 years a new Broadway show comes into town, right? But I tell you, it's been great because I started in a pretty robust journey in politics. I was an intern at the White House for President Bush, and then went to work the latter 4 years of the Bush administration. And during my time there, I was doing a lot of singing in Washington, D.C. I was singing for Christmas tours at the White House and dinners in D.C., and that's what really introduced me to the entertainment business. And following my appointment with the Bush administration, I auditioned for a Broadway show that was opening in D.C. at the time, and right when President Obama came in, I left and went into entertainment and kind of led me through the concert world and moving to New York and all types of things. But it's been wonderful because now in my season of performing, I've been doing a lot of performing back in Washington, D.C. and in the political arena, and that has been a joy because I care about policy. I care about this country. I love America. You know, I know where my freedom comes, as Gary Sinise says, our good friend. And so it's been a joy to be able to contribute musically in an arena, an environment that I feel so strongly about. And I think artists have such a unique position because we are apolitical in that sense. We can advocate for the country, we can advocate for communities in need, we can advocate for the everyday American that sometimes is hard for politicals per se to do. And so I've been fortunate that I've been given a platform that works on both sides of the aisle to make a difference for the country. So
I want to talk about that in just a moment, but I want to share with our listeners a short clip of your performance at the Heritage Foundation meeting.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the
was that me singing? I don't know. Who's in all those high notes?
That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
That's the good Lord coming down. The good Lord coming down.
So when you're doing the Trump inaugural or other events, I mean, you don't shy away from your pro-America feelings.
Sure.
What has it been like to be in entertainment, though, and have some views that might differ from maybe where the majority of people are?
Sure. You know, it's certainly not a cakewalk. You know, I am a proud conservative. I'm not afraid to say that, and certainly have my convictions and values that I hold true. But I am in a profession that has diverse views and diverse backgrounds, and I respect those views and backgrounds. And so I think, again, artists, entertainers have the great opportunity to use their platforms for broad conversations. And so, I heard a recent person say, you can't change the world and resemble the world you want to change. And so I am not afraid to be in a profession that may not particularly agree with everything I say or care for everything I say, but I know that if this is what God has called me to do, and I try in everything that I am presented with to represent Him first, and certainly represent the convictions and values that I believe in. And I feel that we are in a time where we are losing some of that civility in the context of being able to have conversation that may differ. I encourage it more. The more I sit down with someone that I don't agree with, perhaps, or may share, a difference of opinion, the better, because that's a way for us to all find common solutions and common ground to bettering the country. So I'm not afraid of a little opposition in the entertainment business, but certainly always find ways to work with differing opinions to better the country. That's
well,
what
I'm
it's
so
about.
glad to hear you say that. That's really important. I know it's important to Heritage's president, Kay Coles-James, as well. That's a message that she certainly speaks about frequently. And you've had success in the entertainment. So I'd like to hear about some of the things you have coming up. I mean, a new single coming out and debuting in a film. So share with our listeners what they can expect to hear from you in the future.
Thank you. Well, very excited. I have been really blessed as a newbie still in the music business to have worked with some great songwriters and composers, and it's just been a blessing. A couple years ago, I recorded a great song called Grace Will Lead Me Home with Steve Dorff, who is a very popular, a 3-time Grammy nominee, a 6-time Emmy nominee, and was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame last year. And we recorded a song a couple years ago, landed into a film called The Meanest Man in Texas, which opened April 19th in Texas, and will be in theaters across the country here May the 20th. And we're so excited about the film. We're so excited about the song because it really speaks to the element of grace, and which is we are all blessed to have God's grace and how that sustains all of our lives. And so the film did very well in the film festivals across the globe and certainly here in the States. And we're just very excited about the film and the music. And that has just led to a whole new energy of interfaces musically within film and within the recording music industry. And so lots of exciting things. I'm really blessed, blessed.
Who would you say are some of the biggest role models in your life when it comes to the entertainment world? But I mean, it can, I guess, be political as well.
I tell you, I've been blessed because my parents are retired ministers, so I come from a long journey within the faith community and certainly in the ministry, and so a lot of great mentors come from there. But musically, when I was a little girl, the faces on my wall were the Diana Rosses and the Barbra Streisands and the Aretha Franklins and the Clark sisters coming from the gospel music world, and so that musically were a lot of my inspirations going into music. You can add Whitney Houston right in there too, but I would also say, politically, Ronald Reagan is one of my, was on my wall, growing up, and certainly such admiration for the Bush family because of working for them. But I tell you, I've been blessed. I've had a tremendous amount of mentors from an array of different professions, and one that we know well is Miss Kay Coles-James, who is the president of Heritage, who's been a tremendous support to me and to my career as a young professional and an artist, and just a blessing to be able to be connected to Heritage in this regard musically, but also in what I believe and my convictions. So I thank Ms. Kay. She's been a great mentor.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah. Do you have a favorite song that you've performed?
Oh goodness, I love music. I was trained classically, so I grew up singing the great arias and the classics. But I love just about everything. Okay. My favorite music to sing, and I'm not just saying this because I'm here, I love singing America's patriotic music. I love those words of the Star Spangled Banner and America the Beautiful and God Bless America. And those songs are timeless, of course, but they speak to who we are as human beings, as citizens, as a community. And those type of songs, that inspiration, are very meaningful to me. So while I love to sing, I love gospel, I love country music, I love, jazz, I love Broadway theater, I love just a little bit of everything, but I think it's the songs of our country that I love singing most.
Well, I agree with you on that. They certainly do represent all those values that you've talked about.
Absolutely.
Finally, I want to ask you, what advice do you have to young people who may want to make their mark in the entertainment world? Based on your own experience, what would you tell them?
Be true to who you are. Be true to what God is calling you to sing and you to say and you to contribute. The entertainment business is a tough one, and many times you get into the business and you have a lot of voices and a lot of people telling you what they want you to sing and what they want you to say and how they want you to look, and can divert you from what you feel true to. And so to any young person coming into the business, first do it. There's nothing more rewarding than getting up every morning and saying, I'm doing what God is calling me to do. But more importantly, stay true to who you are. Your voice is unique, and there's only one of you. So when you get into the business, sing exactly what God is calling you to sing, do exactly what God is calling you to do, and be and become exactly what God is calling you to be and become in the business. You'll make an impact beyond what you could ever imagine if you stay true to that as an artist and as a voice in the business. So,
Mary, great advice. Thanks so much for being with the
Thanks
Daily
for
Signal.
having me. It's great to be here.